Hello.
Hi. Okay. The fifth parak in the screen version, which is
In the middle of Perek Gimel and
yeah, yeah. Um, okay. On screen it says V'chol Yamav. It says Be May Roshin Gamliel Gadal Rabbeinu Hakadosh Beno Talmud Torah. Uh, it says that's the screen version, but here it says Gadal Beno Rabbeinu Hakadosh B'Torah. The Karminan. This could use go with the screen version. Karminan Karhabu Yasser Roshin Gamliel Rabbi Yeshua Ben Korcha Asaf Solei. When Rabbi Yeshua ben Korach was sitting on the benches of Beis Medrash, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Shimon. So in front of them was sitting Rabbi and Rabbi Eliezer, son of Rabbi Shimon. Havu Makshu Parke. Where is this Gemara? Remember this. They're going to bump it. See it pay down on the base. Okay. So the so they were drinking from their water, and they're sitting on the ground. They built for them benches, and they put them up on the benches. Which is interesting.
it's interesting to note these are all sons of Talmidei Chachamim.
Yeah. I remember this Gemara. It's embarrassing, but that they built for them actually benches and sat them up to high. Okay. Um. Anyway, B'Shimesh Rebbe Osam Chachamim. Rebbe was B'Shamesh these Chachamim. Damer Rebbe section Torah it's Rabbi Shimon Bitkoa. So Rabbi Shimon is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Even though it wasn't mentioned in the previous paragraph. Sarah complete, I think.
His son was mentioned, Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we mentioned before, but anyway, the Masnisin, min Hon Gamar, and the lochas of the Mishnayos, he learned from them. The Amar Rebbe, said, Amar Rebbe, okay, so I mean, Vama says, I'm Rebbe Shalachti L'motor Eitz Rabbi Elazar ben Shamua, the Chibru Alai, which was also mentioned before, as one time Rabbi Akiva, Chibru Alai Talmid of Ketani Gomsha base Bakya. The students surrounded me like the roosters or the chickens of base Bakya, but Nichpudi Limboda Dabrechar. Yes, they kept him asking questions, and he didn't learn. Only learned one thing. Less Rabbi Shemua. The way he says in the bottom is that they were kanoim, and they didn't want to let other talmidim enter the yeshiva. But in any event, so he says in the bottom, says Shemu kanoim l'toras rabam. ולא היו מניחים לתלמידים של החכמים האחרים לבוא ללמוד אצל רבם. שרבי יושב בספסלים אחוריים, שבית המדרש, רבי אליעזר, ללמוד ממנו, ישר התלמידים יושבים סמוך אליו, מדברים בקול. מחמס הרש"י עושים סביבו, לא יכול רבי לשמוע אצל אליעזר. החיבור לתרנגולים, ושדרך התרנגולים לקרקר ולהרעיש. כלומר שבייס בוקיה, שבייס בוקיה היה כפר ששם מגדלים תרנגולים מזן מיוחד. Special breed. She'ein azcharim yinechim tarnigol zar likrev l'nachlasam. Okay? They don't let other roosters join in. So they're only one thing. Androgynous skila kazachar. That androgynous is considered to have a din of a male in terms of homosexuality. Okay, Says here, Rabbi, I need this is amazing what he says here. I don't know where he gets this from. Rabbi, I need Dragonus? שיש בו תערוב זכוס ונקבוס, שרבי אין תרוס מרב אחד, אלא קצת מזה, קצת מזה. אפילו שלימד רבי אליעזר לא חשוב שאנדרנוס חייב למיסה, שלוש קודמים וניחו לשמוע כי רוצים לרמוז לו בזה על עצמו. That is very weird. Very, very weird. I wonder where
Okay.
it comes from. There's no source. Okay? So there was kind of an insult, a taunt. We're the only Talmud of one Rebbe. And we're superior to you, you're telling me to many rabbeim, and therefore you're like an androgynous, that you have a mixture of genders. Okay?
Just like people that learn different styles of kung fu or something.
Yeah, I guess. The Kadmolach Rebbe Saravua, when Rebbe became the Rosh Hashiva after the HaNasi, after his father, B'neim Shosan Chachamim, the children of those Chachamim, who were senior to Rabbi. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yaakov, Ish Kfar Chitaya. They were all Talmidim of Rabbi. They weren't really Talmidim necessarily, but they were Talmidim Chaverim, I think, more than Talmidim. He says here the Yaakov Chitaya is Tema Ushari Kanam Ekbal Askir Chacham Mishu B'dor Rabbi Yubnehem Shachem Chamak Me'ador Kodim. Yaakov Bar Chitaya, Yishua Yaakov Ish Chitaya, no Shach Kutza Zu. That's what it's called B'Mshech. Achar Shemar V'Talmidim Acherim. Rabbi Chia. Vod Rabbi Yaakov Ish Chitaya Lo Ya B'dor Rabbi Abador Shingam Li'abiv. So therefore he says it's a mistake here. Should be Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yaakov Ish Chitaya. What does he say? In the Biurim on page Lamed Gimel says Makam Yachachu Huskar, the single place is mentioned in Chagiga Dafei, and it's called Kakshu Paul Yachadim Rebbe. Doesn't say anything about his activity with Rebbe. So it also says Ulai Kavanas Shim Gamliel. Sorry. Shagon Hilo Nosh Rabbi Yaakov Azet, Vaelo Ezem Makor Kakshu Paul Yachadim Rebbe, which is basically the same conclusion. Okay, so Chachamim Acherim, and there are Talmid Acherim here. It says here, Rabbi Chia Shalom Bavel. Says Rabbi Chia came from Bavel. Although I think Rabbi Chia was much more of a student. I think Rabbi Shmuel, these first ones, Shabbi Yehuda, Yaakov, whoever this was, they were not really Talmidim. They were active. It says Havu Badei, right? They were with him. Like I said, they're like Talmidim Chaverim. The Talmidim Acherim, or maybe even not that. Maybe I think they were colleagues. He had other Talmidim. It's not just Talmidim. It's really Talmidim. And in the printed version it says altogether differently. It says Talmidei Rabbanim. Yeah, students who are rabbis. Okay, or here in the Shnei Gersos it says the Talmidei Rabbeinu. And the Talmidim of Rabbeinu, Chacham Achirim, and other Chachamim. Or it says here, again in the footnote, Chachamim Achirim. In other words, there are other Chachamim who were students. Which are Rabbi Hirsch, Rabbi Bavel, Rabbi China Bar Chama, Rabbi Efes. I love that name, Rabbi Efes. Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Shim Banav Shel Rabbeinu, the children of Rabbi Kodesh, Rabbi Yanai, Femi Birtu Torah Harbe, they taught a lot of Torah. Okay.
Is Rabbi Yanai mentioned in the Mishnah? I don't remember him.
Well, Rabbi Chia is never mentioned in Mishnah.
Rabbi Chia is or is not?
Never. No. It was a Tana, but he was the author of the Brises, the editor of the Brises.
Okay.
So these Talmidim of Rebbe, most of them not make it to the Mishnah. They were Tanoim, but they were in the transition generation.
Right.
The older students were still considered to be Tanoim. The younger students, Rav and Shmuel and such like, are considered to be Amoraim. with
Rav
Rabbi.
Tanu Balig.
Yes, so he's like in that generation. He's like in the middle. But the other one, and sometimes you find even Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan very rarely arguing at Tanoim, but they never says Shmuel Tanapolik, Rabbi Yochanan Tanapolik, only Rav Tanapolik, because he was like in the middle between Rabbi Chia and Rabbi Gamliel, Shimon, the sons of Rabbi Yehuda, and Nasim, Rabbi Yanai, and then there were and then the later Talmudim. I assume he's going to talk about this at some point because this is the transition generation.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, okay. V'chol shem elu. Nisparshu kol halachos shehayu tuliyas b'chol midrashos, and all these years of the latter day, the Rebbe's, the yeshiva, they said all halachos tuliyas based on medrash, all the halachos which were dangling, which are not resolved in the base medrash, b'chol midrashos. Uh, it's interesting that here it's in the text on the screen. It says chol midrashos, and in the printed text it says b'chol should base medrash. So if it says chol midrashos, I don't think that he also translates as b'chol patei medrash, but it could be that it means all in the midrashay halacha, right? Because they're all midrashay halacha were expounded before this time, and now they had to be analyzed. But anyway, I don't know. I have said Agadol Sheh B'Churban Abayis. Kind of counted the great loss which resulted in the Churban, and the Sfekus which came about as a result of those disturbances. All the Machlokes came out in these three generations, which he says the Rishon Churban, the Shei Churban, the Zesh Rebbe, but in the printed Biurim he says more explicitly, Dor Talmidei Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, Dor Talmidei Akiva, Bedor Rebbe. So these three generations, all those fakers, halacha was concluded in them. V'noda b'neim divrei echidim, divrei merubim, and they clarified who was the majority, who was the minority. Because we pass halacha like the majority. Beside after they spent a long time trying to clarify things. Duka beside duka, and they were made inference after inference. I guess to know who holds what. And they were very much meticulous in going after all the various different Masoras, and Mishnais, so it fixed them. Lo siba member the kamoi me'achik agdola. Okay. Let's see what he means. It says with this over here. Says in the bottom, lo siba kamar im nishallah b'doros Rebbe or b'doros shishkom lo eze shel b'alocha. If you mechir b'alocha zu hatir l'asor, if you kachon modi pe'echa b'alocha zu esor ben alocha she'ibu es atosh ba'pek k'fi shemasu anchik agdola, yichnisu l'mishnah. Lo yisachem mitosh ba'pek me'an shemasu anchik agdola, lo yichnisu. לכן היו צריכים להדגים כל הלכה, ולכן מוסכמת, כי אם היא הסכמס, הדורס האחרונים שמתורס עד שכנס גדולה. I have no idea if that's actually the pshat. He wants to say that it means that they only put in issues which were discussed by Chiknas Gdula, and then the question became what the halacha is.
Okay.
I don't know if that's actually the pshat. What does he say here? It seems he's saying something similar in his translation in the printed version. I think Okay, so let's look at the end of the paragraph here. Torchu tarchi nefishe. As he said, they went to great difficulty, v'doktu tiktuke rave, and made many inferences. Ad tasiku mai dahavu amin hanach rishonim mai havu abdin. Until they concluded what the earlier generations said, and what they did. Ad v'shulun kulas feka de islu. To resolve all the fakers that they had. I don't know. If you look in the Targum here, he says, "Lo shel sifa mashomer rishonim min shemi anshek gedola kach torchu b'tirchos ela v'diktiku ad shisiku matam omer rishonim ela ma nagu l'maaseh." What they actually did in practice, ashivtu them spekos elu, until the spekos were resolved. Shloyu klal l'chacham rishonim. It sounds like there were new spekos. They didn't have chacham rishonim. Okay, I'm not sure why he says this. I mean, he's saying there's. I guess what they're saying is correct. That the later Tanoim did not add on what Anshe Knesset Gedolah said, which is not. But that's not true. They did make zeros. They did make all sorts of new takonos. But evidently, the idea is that everything I don't know.
I think most of the takanas came down from on Knesset Gedolah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we have a few takanas of different Batei Din, which are named explicitly. Rabbi Gamliel's Beit Din, or Rebbe's Beit Din, or whatever. But general takanot, which we have left and right in the Gemara, apparently came down from Anshe Knesset Gedolah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I guess it's these are all fakers in what Anshe Knesset Gedolah said, and they resolved these fakers, and they recorded obviously the many machleksim about them because the Mishnah is full of machleksim, but the resolved ones they could resolve, and the ones they couldn't resolve conclusively. I guess they put down different shitas, and I assume that in the next part he's going to explain what the how we're supposed to know based on how they wrote the Mishnayos, how we're supposed to paskin. That I think we'll leave. That I think we'll have to do next time. Okay. So we'll leave it with Bays, which actually has Shirgon's revolutionary shita that nothing was written until the time of Rabbi and Ravashi. The Rabbi did not write down the Mishnayos.
Rabbi and Ravashi?
Yeah. Okay, it's very big finish. We'll see it.
Well, you know what he's got written there is very different than what I'm seeing in the printed text here.
Yes, obviously there must have been many different types of versions where Shira go. Many more than we realized going into this.
Okay. All right, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Piskatava. We'll see about Sunday Chamoy. No guarantees yet.
Okay. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Bye.